I just bought my first rental property. Should I put it into an LLC? What's going on YouTube? Thank you for watching this YouTube channel. My name is Matt. My company is called the DeRosa Group, and this is our YouTube series called Mentorship Monday. People email questions to helpme@derosagroup.com. That is helpme@derosagroup.com, and we will answer your YouTube question right here on this channel for you and everyone else to learn from. I'll read your question out loud. I'll give you a shout out, the whole thing. So stop what you're doing right now after you watch this video and send an email to helpme@derosagroup.com, and you get your questions answered right here. So I have two questions, and it's two people asking the same question, so I'll knock them both out here. And this has to do with LLCs. People can make LLCs complicated, as you know. One of these folks asking this question made it very complicated, and it's okay because it's a complicated topic. But you guys don't need to make these things as complicated as they can be, and as articles you might have read about it and stuff like that. You don't need a Wyoming-based LLC. If you're not in Wyoming, you don't need LLCs in different states. Again, I'm not a lawyer, and don't be taking what I'm talking about as legal advice. I'm just a fellow real estate investor giving you my experience in this industry. But I do not believe that you should make the LLC conversation as complicated as it is. I do believe you need an LLC, period. If you own real estate, you should eventually find a way to get it into an LLC for protection for yourself, and also so you're treating your real estate investing as a business. Because if you're owning it in your own personal name, if you're taking the rent you're getting and putting it in your personal bank account, you're treating it like a hobby. You should treat your investing that you do as a business, and running it through an LLC will cause all the revenue and cause the tax returns and stuff like that to be through this other thing over here, this LLC that you form. So I firmly believe, yes, it's a simple answer. Yes, you should have an LLC, but no, you should not make it as complicated as people are making it. So I'll briefly read Paul's. We had a question from Paul and a question from Pereira that were very similar, so similar that I wanted to just knock them both out with one YouTube video, okay? So here's from Paul. Hey, Matt, for a newbie who just won property, is it advisable to be spending money to create a holding company this early in the game? Knowing that creating a fresh holding company will cost at least $2,000 in legal fees. Whoa. The parent company would also be about over $1,000 for each operational LLC to set up. Okay, let me pause. What Paul's talking about is setting up one LLC and then a sub LLC to own each property. Time out. No, too complicated. You don't need to do that, right? It's going to cost. At first, I started hearing about thousands of dollars to set up operating companies for one piece of real estate that you own. Now, this is a small single-family home. That $2,000 could be your entire year worth of profit on that property. No, do not do that. Do not pay thousands of dollars to set up these entities to run one or two properties. It's not worth it, right? Set up an LLC, yes. And you guys should learn how to register an LLC with your state's website, and then go get a lawyer to draft an operating agreement for you. Because you need to set up an LLC, you need to register it with your state. You need to get it an EIN number with the IRS, and you need to get yourself an operating agreement from a good lawyer. Do not buy it online, and a good lawyer should not be charging you thousands of dollars to set up an operating agreement that they already have on the shelf, and use a template they already have, and to put your data in there and that. So you need a good lawyer to draw up an operating agreement for you, but you should be able to register it with the state and get your IRS EIN number for yourself. The IRS EIN number is free, by the way. Just go on the IRS's website and you can get it. And state registration in New Jersey, where we do business, is like $150 or $125, somewhere in there, maybe $200, depending. New Jersey charges you for everything, and each state's going to be a couple $100 to get it set up, but not thousands. Okay, and then Paul goes on to talk about Wyoming-based LLCs, and does it make sense? And no, it does not. There's benefits to Wyoming-based LLCs and Nevada LLCs and Delaware LLCs, but at the level that most of you guys are at, and even at the level we're at in our company, we don't even look into those kinds of things, because the savings you're going to get and the asset protection you're going to get is simply not worth the hassle in getting these out-of-state LLCs and everything like that. It's just not worth it. I set up the LLCs we use in the state that the properties are in, right? So the property's in Kentucky, that's where the LLC is set up, right? And then we just get really good liability insurance around the property. So if there is a slip and fall or a liability issue, liability insurance will take care of it. They'll be there as a nice umbrella, a shield for you, and everybody sleeps well. As you get larger and larger and get more and more complicated, let your real estate investing tactics and your asset protection tactics become complicated with your growth. But do not do super complicated stuff like this. First deal, no. Question from Para, same kind of question, but I'll just highlight it here. My husband and I bought our first investment property. By the way, I should congratulate Paul and Para for their first investment property, because Paul bought his first deal, Para bought their first deal, and that's a huge success because you guys got your first deal done. Congrats. Sometimes the first deal is the hardest one. We bought the property in our own name. Shame, shame, shame. That's okay. You'll work around it. We want to form an LLC and have a few questions. If we have just one property, should we form an LLC? Yes. You should form an LLC. If you own real estate that's not your primary residence, yes, you should have an LLC. Should we use our home address when forming the LLC? That's interesting. I probably would not. When I first got started, I used a P.O. box and then a mailing service for my LLC, because the address of the LLC is public information. It's super unlikely, not going to happen. Nobody's going to show up knocking on your door, but it does put your personal information out there. So I probably would not use your primary residence for the address of the LLC. You get a P.O. box. You can get a mailing address service or registered agent service that can have an anonymous third-party address so your personal information isn't out there. What's the best way to find and hire a real estate lawyer? Ask another real estate investor in your state to help you find a real estate lawyer, and that's a great way to get started. You can also look on biggerpockets.com for references to real estate lawyers that are active in your local area as well. So great question, Para. Great question, Paul. Bottom line, guys, yes, you need an LLC. No, it does not need to be complicated. Good point, Para, on using your primary residence as the address. So you know you probably should not do that, and there are affordable third-party mailing services you can use for that kind of thing. Or not for nothing, if you hire a lawyer, sorry, I'm speaking New Jersey talk now, not for nothing. But if you're going to use a real estate lawyer, use your real estate lawyer's address. You know, they'll allow you to do that. I've done that myself. So that's that. But again, don't overcomplicate LLCs. Let it get more complicated as your business gets more complicated, but get them and then let them get more complex as you grow, okay? Remember, helpmeat@DeRosaGroup.com is the place to send your real estate questions, and I'll answer them right on the YouTube channel. And check us out at DeRosaGroup.com if you guys want to hear more about what we're doing at our company. That's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great and profitable week.